Hello, I'm Pastor Jeff. Thanks for joining me for our Lenten devotion. We're making our way through the Gospel of Luke and then Acts of the Apostles. Today's day 19. It's Sunday, March 17th, or March 7th, sorry, and we're in Luke 21, chapter 21. Well, this is a chapter in Luke's Gospel that is what we call apocalyptic. Apocalyptic means a revealing. It's a genre of literature. It's a way of talking about the very real struggles between good and evil. It's, yes, about the end, but only in as much as there is a promise that in the midst of the current struggles, in the midst of the evils that we might see, there is assurance that God will win the day, that ultimately God is victorious. And that is always a theme in apocalyptic literature. So we see it here in Luke, we see it in Mark 13, we see it in the book of Revelation, we see it in Daniel, other places in the Bible. And the key theme of apocalyptic literature, once again, is it takes seriously the existence of evil, those things that seem to be going against God and God's kingdom, but always with the assurance that evil does not win the day. So here there's this question, and it starts off with this wonderful story about the widow and her offering, right? And he talks about the fact that this widow has put in more than anybody else because she's given everything that she has, right? She's given her all. And I think here, in some ways, the widow stands as a model for those of us who are living through the current age. And the current age is always contemporary. It's always now. That is, we're waiting for the kingdom. We're waiting for God's victory to come. And so in a real sense, we're always living within the apocalyptic. When has there not been wars and rumors of wars? When has there not been famines and earthquakes? These things have always been. So we're always living in this time that we're waiting. So how are we going to live? How are we going to present ourselves in these times? I think the widow is a model for that. She gives of herself. And she gives of herself completely and with hope, knowing that God will provide. This is really beautiful. It's reminiscent of the manna in the wilderness. Every day, every new morning, God provided what the people needed. It's reminiscent of the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. And it's reminiscent of what Martin Luther had to say when he was asked, what would you do if you knew that the world would end tomorrow? His answer, very famous, I would plant a tree. Why do you plant a tree? But you plant a tree in expectation, in hopeful expectation of seeing it grow and produce. And so that's how we live in these times, with hopeful expectation, giving of ourselves, trusting that God will give us what we need. There's a warning here too, and one of the warnings is don't be led astray. A lot of people are going to come and say, I'm him, I'm him. Don't be led astray, but simply live into the hope that we have, that God will provide, that the final word belongs to Jesus. I think that's the best way to look at this apocalyptic section of Luke's gospel. God bless you.